It's a wonderful day in West Virginia. Welcome to the Daily 304 Innovators and Entrepreneurs feature. Here at the Daily 304, we are committed to sharing the wealth, beauty, opportunity, and innovation that's here in wonderful, almost heaven, West Virginia. Today we are joined by Charlie Hammerman. He's the president and CEO of the Disability Opportunity Fund and the person behind a one-of-a-kind innovation in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. The aptly named Schoolhouse Hotel is the world's first fully ADA accessible hotel in the world. Hammerman and his group have worked to transform the more than 100-year-old former schoolhouse into the perfect venue that combines comfort with accommodation. Charlie Hammerman, welcome to Innovators and Entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Charlie, it doesn't get more innovative than doing something for the first time, especially for the first time in the world. Can you talk a little bit about the facility, how it works, and what innovative things you've done to make it welcoming, a welcoming place for everyone?
Well, this is what we've been doing for 15 years. We literally have been doing one of a kind, first of a kind, setting the standards, whether it was housing, whether it's education programs, health facilities, or in this case, a hotel. In this situation, it was basically 3 years ago that we got down to White Sulphur Springs. We visited a couple of other areas in West Virginia, and this very unique opportunity was presented to us. Well, that's when we took it one step further, and we said, how do we combine our mission from a disability organization, the sense of doing something for the first time ever, and not just do it for ego, but to do it for practicality, and then to be able to do it as a showcase for things around the world.
And the challenge that I know from some experience in hospitality is that the attention to detail has to be so high because most of those things that are accommodating to everyone are transparent. And the standards are so high when you choose to go somewhere. People are picky, people are demanding, and that's a great thing. And so can you talk a little bit about one or two of the kinds of things that wouldn't be apparent to someone who walks into the facility that we're given attention to that are very important to those with disabilities?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the way that we attacked that situation was on day one. So something as subtle as spending time with those who have experience with those with autism and understanding color schemes. Color schemes may really be, oh, well, let's just do the colors of West Virginia or do something thematic that was with the school. And yet it was more of an attraction to say, let's look at it from the standpoint of somebody with autism who would be coming in and what are the color schemes that would be necessary to give a good environment. So there were a lot of that kind of subtlety, even to then the standpoint of what we like to point out as the bar that we put into the main restaurant. When we did the bar, from the outside, you can see that on one level, it's a normal 4 foot, where stools can go up there, but on the other two sides, they drop down. And therefore, someone in a wheelchair will be able to come in and their guests can be sitting right next to them with no problem. Well, that's not so innovative. What we went one step further is that then we went inside the bar, dropped the floor about 18 inches. So the bartender who's in the bar would then be looking eye to eye with a guest who was in a wheelchair. And that was the subtlety that, again, you wouldn't pick up in a book or there's no architecture plan on it. We had to bring all of that to the table.
I think that there isn't much more West Virginian than in communities, small groups bracing each other, helping each other, supporting one another. So what an excellent story. I'm going to ask you for another piece of advice. We have something here on the Daily 304 called Innovation Corner, where we have folks like you who have done something very innovative and entrepreneurial. Share with our viewers and listeners one thing that helped you or that you try to, as your guidepost, is the thing that keeps you going, overcoming obstacles and being successful. Do you have a piece of advice for our viewers and listeners about entrepreneurship and business in general?
I think that the way we have looked at everything is, as long as you learn and listen to others and do your homework first and understand what you're going to be doing, why you're going to be doing it, understand what you're good at and what you're not good at, and being able to also own up to mistakes when you're going down a path and it's just not working. To double down doesn't make a lot of sense, but then to be able to pull back and say, okay, we've recognized the mistake and you can sort of learn from those mistakes are things that every entrepreneur should understand and learn. Passion is the most important ingredient for any entrepreneur. Yes, you need to make sure the numbers work. You need to make sure that all the details work, the legal aspects work. But if you don't have that passion, then you're not going to be able to sell it. We were fortunate enough because we created our own passion for this work for the last 16 years. We brought that passion and combined it with the passion of the local community in White Sulphur Springs. And that partnership now is working nicely because everyone knows their role and everyone can play that role going forward.
It's great advice. What I heard is have that passion, have it keep you going forward, learn from the obstacles that you face. Don't be afraid to not give up, but to let go of that and change course and learn from it. But obviously, it worked for you because you have been successful. You took a more than 100-year-old building, turned it into a very welcoming, opening space that folks can come to and relax and enjoy themselves. You have a short feature here, so what I'd ask you to do, Charlie, what is the best way that somebody can learn about the facility, how they can make reservations, and how they can see examples of how welcoming the Schoolhouse is?
Well, obviously go to our website. It's theschoolhousehotelwv.com and should have all the information there. And to the outside world, we are booking weddings, we're booking conferences, we're booking meetings. It is just a wonderful thing to see. And we're just thrilled and hope everyone gets to enjoy it.
Wonderful. Theschoolhousewv.com, it's open for everyone. Come and see the history, come out to brunch, schedule your meeting or your wedding there. Charlie Hammerman, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the wonderful thing that's being created in Lewisburg and White Sulphur Springs. And we appreciate you very much for spending your time with us today and all the work you're doing here in West Virginia.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on all our social media channels at The Daily 304. You can also stay up to date with all the great things happening in beautiful, almost heaven, West Virginia by heading on over to wv.gov/daily304. We'll see you again next time.